بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Start with the Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I will have seen some of you about 2 weeks ago when we had the induction day. Alhamdulillah, it's great to see so many faces, so many people here that are keen to learn. And I mentioned last time as well, the sole purpose and the intention when seeking knowledge, especially knowledge of the deen regarding Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the first and most important intention should be that you are seeking this knowledge to get close to Allah. That's paramount, that's the most essential thing that you have to have in mind. I am aware some of you may be here because you got a GCSE at the end of it. There's a qualification. You have the Cambridge University tag to this course. So many have come for that purpose. And I'm not going to deny you will get that, InshaAllah. There's nothing wrong in that. But above that, it should be the intention that you coming here every week, sitting and learning, so that you gain that closeness to Allah through learning His deen. By you knowing, having awareness of Allah. This is why in this course you cover Quranic subjects, Hadith, you have fiqh, and you have the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and aqaid. All the basics that you need for a Muslim, InshaAllah. My previous lecturer, Hafiz Fahim, he didn't get too far because I think he was going into a little detail. The subject I've been given is Hadith. The way I would like to teach, I have my book which I take my notes from. For everybody else, we have this printout. Can we all confirm everybody has a copy of this printout? Everybody have one?
Yes.
Thank you. This, I purposely made this so that you can make notes on this. I want everyone to personalize this for yourself. Make notes, scribble whatever you want that's necessary on this. Add information. Because when I was at university, I have my experiences studying pharmacy, studying law. And from my experience, if you're having to make your own notes from that which is on the screen, and you have to make your own notes, you don't have that much time. So every week, hopefully, I'll try my best to prepare a handout like this that you can make notes on top. Additionally, if anybody wants to make notes, please do go ahead. Nobody's holding you back on that. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habibullah. Salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Khatam al-Nabiyyin. Hadith as a subject is something which starts from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which the Sahaba Kiram, the companions of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they heard, they observed, they memorized, they recollected everything of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They passed it on to their followers, the Tabi'een. They passed it on to their followers until all the sayings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam were recorded and documented into books. And today we have it as a subject by the name Hadith. So Hadith in itself means something that's new. And in this case it means new from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because every time Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam speaks, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. We have this firm belief that whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaks, he speaks with the permission of Allah. He speaks with the permission of Allah. إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. When Allah instructs, he will speak. And this is why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's words are so valuable to us. is so valuable. Every word that the Prophet ﷺ uttered is guidance. Never did he mention a single word in his lifetime which was wasteful, which was unnecessary. Pause here, Tarbiyah pause. Imam Ghazali says, you know, the Day of Judgment, the punishments that people will get on the Day of Judgment, majority of them will be because of the tongue. They either speak too much, they lie, they're backbiting, they're slandering. All these issues are happening because the tongue is put into motion. But the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is to talk less. But the difference is, we talk, it could have meaning, it may not have meaning. But when the Prophet ﷺ speaks, every word is meaningful and full of hikmah. Why? Quran says, وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرٌ كَثِيرًا. If I and you have some words of knowledge, they could be beneficial. But the Prophet ﷺ is وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. He came to teach them knowledge and came to teach them wisdom. So every word the Prophet ﷺ said is beneficial and was recorded. So if we move on to the next slide, InshaAllah. أتى أمر الله فلا تستعجله سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون. But the ayah that I have prepared as an introduction, why is it so important to study Hadith? Question, if you want to note that down. Why is it so important to study Hadith? Is Quran not enough for us? Is Quran not sufficient? Did Allah not mention everything? So why do we need a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ? It's a question. And the answer to that is that we can never understand the Quran until the Prophet ﷺ does not support us with his own understanding. Because his understanding is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran is a textbook. It's a code of conduct. It's legislation. But how do we understand that legislation? How do we understand the Quran? We look to the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the sayings of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is why it's so important to study Hadith. Because without Hadith, we could never understand the Quran. A basic common example we give. You know, Quran says, Aqimus Salah. You must all pray your Salah. What does Quran say? You have to face the Qibla. Does Quran tell you that you have to make wudu before doing your Salah? It doesn't. Does Quran tell you that for the women they have to cover their hair, to cover themselves? Quran doesn't say that. Does Quran tell you when it says Aqimus Salah, pray Salah? Does Quran say you have to read Surah Fatiha in every rak'ah? Does Quran say that? It doesn't. So who teaches us how to perform these actions? Aqimus Salah wa atu zakah. Allah says, give charity. How much charity was supposed to give? Is it 50%? Is it 25%? How much does Allah want? We then turn to the hadith. And that's where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will guide us with his words, and he will give us a structure to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that this is what Allah demands from you. This is why hadith is so important. Because without hadith, we could never understand the Quran. And Quran says itself. Because today, unfortunately, we're very, very unfortunate that we now live in a time, because it's been so far since the Prophet ﷺ passed away. It's been such a long time, 1400 years. It's a long time. And this time people have diverted, have moved away from the teachings of Islam. And one of the small groups were those people that rejected hadith. They said, you know what? Quran is sufficient. Quran has everything. Why do we need to read a hadith? Why follow the hadith? What's the need? Because the hadith can be weak and this can be this and that. So Quran is enough. This is why, now answering to that, the reason why we must study the Quran in light of Hadith, Quran says, وَمَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا لِتُبَيِّنَ لَهُمُ الَّذِي اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ. Quran says, O Habib, to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have not sent the Quran upon you, but for you to elaborate upon the book. For the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to mention, open the meanings of the Quran. And where do they come? They come in Hadith. So that's the first thing you must understand, the importance of Hadith. Because today there are people that don't want to read Hadith. They only want the Quran. But the Quran says itself, O Prophet, you must explain the Quran to them. لِتُبَيِّنَ. Explain it to them. And that explanation today we have in the form of Hadith. You must explain the Quran to them. And the only way of explaining the Quran is through Hadith that has been preserved for the last 1400 years. So, we move on. The main categories of Hadith. There are many categories. It's taught as a science, as Mustalah al-Hadith. But the four main categories, and I'll touch on each one slightly. And like I said, make all your notes on this printout that you have, on each one. So number one, Hadith Qudsi. What is Hadith Qudsi? Anybody know? Anybody want to volunteer to answer? What is Hadith Qudsi? Anybody? Hadith Qudsi? Hadith Qudsi is such a hadith which the words are from Allah but through the tongue of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Note that down. So Hadith Qudsi, what is it? They are the words of Allah, not the words of the Prophet. They are the words of Allah, but through the tongue of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if I can also hint just slightly, not going too deep, Hadith Qudsi in itself is evidence that we must believe in Hadith. Otherwise, the Quran is the word of Allah. Hadith Qudsi is the word of Allah. But the difference is, Quran becomes documented as a Quran, but Hadith is which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the meaning and the words to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then the Prophet, peace be upon him, specifies clearly that these words are not mine, these are Allah's words, but they're not the Quran, they're Hadith. So that's the difference between the two. Next one. Hadith Qudsi is come up twice. Yes.
Would you be able to give me an example of Hadith Qudsi, please?
There are many Hadith Qudsi. There are compilations in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, today the scholars have compiled books, but this is quite short, of all the sayings in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this is from Allah. For example, the Hadith Qudsi one that comes to mind, Allah says through the tongue of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that when a person extends one hand towards Allah, Allah extends one arm towards him. So metaphorically meaning, if you make a slight attempt towards closeness to Allah, Allah's mercy will come 10 times towards you. And another hadith, and that same hadith, the second portion to it is, metaphorically speaking, that if you walk towards Allah, Allah's mercy will come running towards you. So the words are such that if you come, O slave, O insan, if you come walking towards me, I will come running towards you. The Prophet ﷺ would specify, these are not my words, these are the words of Allah. This is from Allah. He would say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So just on that subject, what we are doing today and what we have made intention to for the next 2 years, we're not only spreading one handspan, we're not only walking, we can confidently say that we are making every attempt to get close to Allah, and we can confidently say Allah's mercy is showering upon us right now. Because Hadith Qudsi says, if you make an effort towards me, I will come running towards you. Allah doesn't Allah is free from direction, from proximity, and from space and time. But it means Allah's mercy comes running towards you. So that's Hadith Qudsi. That's just one example. If you search online, or there are now books available as compilations for a hadith, which are called the Hadith Qudsi. They are available. So that's Hadith Qudsi. The next category, this is a typo, I guess. It wasn't supposed to come twice. Hadith Qudsi is one type. The second hadith was Hadith Mutawatir. So if you want to cross that out, Hadith Qudsi number 2, and write Hadith Mutawatir, spellings Mutawatir, Mutawatir. That's not the category. And Hadith Mutawatir, the reason why I selected to speak on that one was because Hadith Mutawatir means a saying of the Prophet ﷺ which was mass transmitted. I repeat again so you can make note of it. Hadith Mutawatir means a saying of the Prophet ﷺ which was mass transmitted. Meaning, so many Sahaba Kiram companions heard it from the Prophet and they passed it on, they relayed that same sentence, that same phrase, that quotation of the Prophet ﷺ to so many people, and per generation it was mass transmitted. Every other person knew of it. That becomes Hadith Mutawatir. And a person that rejects Hadith Mutawatir can easily slip outside the fold of Islam. This is why I have to mention this one particularly. With rejection of such a hadith. And Hadith Mutawatir is sufficient enough to add meaning to the Quran. But we won't delve into that too deep. So mass transmitted, everybody knows of it, everyone. An example of that is that the words of the Prophet ﷺ, Ala Khatamun Nabiyyin, that I am the seal of all messengers, I am the final prophet. If somebody says, does not believe in our Messenger ﷺ, does not believe in him to be the final prophet, he can no longer claim to be a Muslim. He's gone outside the boundaries of Islam because he doesn't believe in him to be the last prophet. And again, unfortunately, we now have people that believe in other prophets who call themselves Muslims, but they're clearly outside the fold of Islam. Next, Hadith Sahih. Sahih means, as we know, we use it in our Urdu language as well. In Bengali as well. Sahih. Sure. Okay, Sahih meaning correct. But in this case means authentic hadith. That's what I want to write down. Sahih hadith means an authentic hadith. For the young ones, what an authentic means, it means 100% correct with no doubt. That's what authentic means. 100% correct. There's no way anybody could fault that hadith in any way. And the last category, hadith number 4 is hadith da'if. A hadith that is not 100% correct either in terms of its words or in terms of its sanad. It's, let's say, 99% correct. Put that down. So anything less than 100% authentic would be called hadith da'if. But we have such hadith which you can rely upon 95%, but just one little thing causes a confusion, therefore it's not categorized as 100% authentic. So we differentiate between them. So these are main categories. So what is a hadith? Now you're thinking all of this introduction, what is hadith? Hadith is everything the Prophet ﷺ said, everything the Prophet ﷺ did, any description of his and any mentioning of his lifetime which the Sahaba Kiram narrated on would become hadith. So in the books of hadith, like I have a book For example, the famous Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, Jami Tirmidhi, all these books we're going to cover, they are full of, all of that is everything the Prophet ﷺ did, he said, or his descriptions. They all become hadith. Now, this in itself highlights how much the Sahaba Kiram, the absolute devotees and lovers of the Prophet ﷺ did. They recollected everything the Prophet ﷺ said, everything he did. As far as how he used to sleep, it's documented. Sahaba Kiram told and taught the generations that came after how the Prophet ﷺ used to eat, how he used to drink water, how he would speak, how would he walk in the street, what was his clothing like. And even to the extent, they could even describe how the Prophet ﷺ would go to the bathroom. That's how well they knew the Prophet. He would describe to them, this is the way that you should sit down when you go to the bathroom. That's how much they knew of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Because they loved him so much. And you know, when you love someone so much, you try to remember everything. You know, if I really love somebody, for example, alhamdulillah, I have a daughter, so I can tell you what she does, I can tell you what she looks like, I can tell you the time of the night, exactly when she wakes up, I can tell you exactly how much milk she drinks through the night, I'll tell you which clothes look best upon her, I can tell you of her birthmarks, everything. But the Sahaba Kiram alayhimur ridwan, they loved the Prophet ﷺ more than any of us could love anyone. And it's so true. Because they loved him so much, they remembered everything he said. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to preserve the deen in that way. This is why he facilitated the Prophet ﷺ with such companions that loved him to bits. May Allah make us from those that loved him and increase us in our love for the Prophet ﷺ. But there's a little warning here. Everything the Prophet said, everything he did, all his descriptions are hadith. But the warning in red for making up hadith is such a serious issue. Making up hadith, saying, you know, the Prophet did this when he hadn't done such. Or you describe the Prophet when that description is not for him. Or you say, you know, the Prophet ﷺ said such a thing, but in fact he hadn't said that at all. It's such a serious issue. And this, again, is from those mutawatir hadith that must transmit it. Prophet ﷺ said, "Man kadhiba alayya muta'ammidan falyatabawwa maq'adahu min an-nar." That a person who attributes something towards me, that I did such thing, that I said such a thing, or this is what I look like, when I hadn't done such a thing, I hadn't said such a thing, فَلْيَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَهُ مِنَ النَّارِ. The Prophet ﷺ said, which means you should know that you have a confirmed place in the fire of hell because I didn't do such a thing. So don't you ever attempt or dare to say something the Prophet did not say. That's a warning for us, a severe warning. Because now, you know, we have, keyboard warriors, online warriors, on Facebook, on YouTube. If you look at the comments on the Islamic videos, they constantly throwing hadith at one another. The Prophet said this, he said that, he did this, he did that. But did you really know he said that? Or are you just making it up? You know, on YouTube there's this page called Debate Corner in London. And they're constantly just debating. The whole purpose of that park is people come there just to debate. And at times they'll be saying words out of emotion that were never said by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Major thing. Okay. Some people are taking pictures. The slides will be available online as well, and you do have the printout, don't forget. And I want you guys to make use of this. Make your notes on this. So again, I repeat the warning. until you don't know, until you haven't seen and read for yourself that this is what the Prophet ﷺ did or he said, never ascribe it to him. Never say, oh, I know the Prophet did such a thing, he said such a thing. But you hadn't read it, you hadn't confirmed with a scholar, with an imam. It's a major, major sin. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from being from those people. The word of the Prophet, what he did, what he said, what he looked like, hadith that are mutawatir, that are sahih, that are qudsi, that are da'if, all of them you'll find in books of hadith. There are hundreds of books of hadith, compilations. But the most famous 6 books that have gained international recognition in the Muslim world for over 1,000 years are these 6 books. We should know the names of these books. And what I'm going to do in a short period, little time that I have, is introduce each imam to you and each book briefly, because each scholar in themselves is an encyclopedia. Each scholar in himself requires days and days to describe his efforts and his life. So we have number 1, Sahih Bukhari. Number 2, Sahih Bukhari is the most authentic book known to Muslims after the Quran. The Quran is the word of Allah. To reject even one word of the Quran, you fall outside the fold of Islam. Sahih Bukhari is the most authentic book we know to Muslims, in which the compilations of the Prophet ﷺ, those words have been compiled. The second most authentic is Sahih Muslim. So Sahih Bukhari, number 2 Sahih Muslim. And the two together make a good combination. And a hadith that is in Bukhari and in Muslim, where Imam Bukhari also put it in his book, and Imam Muslim also put it in his book, that hadith is called Muttafaqun alayh. Something which the two major Imams agreed upon, documented. We have Jami' Tirmidhi. Now this, after the first two, number 3, 4, 5 and 6, there is no particular order. Different orders have been suggested by scholars. So we have Jami' Tirmidhi, we have Sunan Nisa'i, we have Sunan Abu Dawud, and we have Sunan of Ibn Majah. And quickly moving on, let's move on to the first one. Sahih Bukhari. Sahih Bukhari. In Sahih Bukhari, the hadith narrated by the Sahaba Kiram, and as they were narrated, they were passed down generation after generation until they came to Imam Bukhari. Imam Bukhari was born in the year 194 Hijrah. 194 Hijrah, and passed away in the year 256 Hijrah. So this is roughly 182 years after the Prophet ﷺ passed away that this book was put together. There have been earlier books. In fact, for the teachers here, hadith was being written in the time of Sahaba Kiram as well. It's proven that Sahaba Kiram used to write the hadith, but not in the way that Imam Bukhari did so and gained international recognition. In the book, in Sahih Bukhari, the total number of hadith, sayings of the Prophet ﷺ, they account to 7,563. Imam Bukhari wrote several books, and I can give you the list of them. Over 20 books he wrote. But the most famous one of his is Sahih Bukhari. And a little bit about Sahih Bukhari, a famous story, that why is Imam Bukhari's book so famous? Why it is so revered and looked upon and given that extra status? Is because he took so much precaution in making sure that every hadith that he wrote down was 100% correct. 100% correct. And ulama mentioned in his biography, they state that Imam Bukhari, before writing any hadith that he would put down in his book, before writing it, he would take a shower. He would take a shower and he would put a new gown upon himself. So he will wear new clothes. He will put itar upon himself. He will make himself smell nice. Then sit down and then write the hadith. In fact, he will perform 2 nafil as well. In asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, I'm about to write the hadith, the words of the Prophet. Support me, help me in making sure that these words that I write down are 100% correct and words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The reason why he did that, remember the warning? The warning that if you say one word, one hadith, if you say the Prophet said that but he hadn't, the sin and the punishment is that you have a confirmed ticket in Jahannam. So Imam Bukhari goes to that precaution. And that's how he respected hadith. Himself, Imam Bukhari, Allahu Akbar. In the month of Ramadan, he used to recite an entire Quran every night of Ramadan. The entire Quran, from cover to cover, from Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Surah Baqarah, Surah Al-Imran, Nisa, onwards, all the way up to Min al-Jinnati wal Nas. The entire Quran he used to recite every night in the night of Ramadan. That's the caliber of Imam Bukhari. Allahu Akbar. And we still do have people like that. Today, I personally know people like that who read the entire Quran in one night. They're able to do it. But that's because they've trained themselves, they've taken themselves to that level where they're able to do so. And a little story about Imam Bukhari. And he said, being so precautious and careful in words of hadith. Another very famous story. Imam Bukhari, hadith didn't mean that everybody around you all day long was just mentioning hadith day in, day out. You had to travel. You had to travel to many cities and many countries to find, there's few people, let's say, in the neighboring city that knows some hadith. Imam Bukhari would go there and hear from them and write it down. Then he'll move to another city and another city and another city so that he can collect as many hadith of the Prophet as he could do so. And once he found that such a person, he knows the hadith of the Prophet. So he prepared his camel and he's making his way now. And he goes to that person and sees and asks such an individual, he knows the hadith of the Prophet, I want to hear from him so I can write it down in my book. Can I please meet him? And he's told, he's in the garden, he's gone to his garden and you'll find him there. Go meet him in the garden. So Imam Bukhari goes to the garden and he sees a person who's got a bag in his hand, and in the bag he's got some food, some hay or something for an animal that he's calling. He wants to call an animal towards him, and then his intention is to capture that animal. So he's going to lure the animal in by showing, look, I've got some food for you, come on, make your way. So the animal slowly makes his way, and as soon as the animal comes forward, he grabs the animal. And when he grabs the animal, he's like, job done. That's exactly what I wanted. He didn't really have anything in that bag for him. He just wanted the animal. So Imam Bukhari, when he saw this happening, I'm about to take hadith from this person. When he's lying to an animal, how can I trust to him that he may not lie to me? If he's lying to an animal by showing a bag of food to lure the animal towards him, how can I trust this individual with the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ? So he walked out straight away. He didn't even ask him for the hadith. Walked straight out. No regard to him. This is the precaution that Imam Bukhari took. And a beautiful narration of his. Imam Bukhari once he was sat in the masjid, and because in the masjid he used to teach in the masjid, and he saw an elderly man who came and sat down, and when he sat down, he had something in his bed, maybe some food, some grain of rice or something that was in his bed. And Imam Bukhari saw him come sit down, As soon as he sat down, that thing that was in his bed stepped out and fell on the ground on the floor of the masjid. Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, he gets up and sits beside that old man, and without letting him know, creeps up to it and he picks that grain of rice or whatever was in his bed, picks it up and slowly slips into his pocket so nobody knows. But one of his students was watching, and because he was watching, we're able to tell you today. One of his students was watching. After everybody went home, he came up to his ustad, his teacher, and said, "Ya Sheikh, I saw you get up from your position, you sat down next to that old man, and I saw you pick that thing up out of his bed that had fallen onto the ground, and you put it into your pocket. Why did you do such? Why?" He said, "Because I didn't want that older man to feel humiliated in front of everyone. And secondly, because it had fallen on the ground, on the floor of the masjid." And Hadith says that this is tarbiyah for us all. You know, whenever we go to the masjid and you see something on the floor, pick it up with your hand, put it in your pocket, and afterwards put it into the bin. Don't just leave it there. Because Hadith says, a person who throws something on the floor of the masjid, if he knew of the punishment, and if he knew of how severe it is, he said it would be better for him to have nails pierced into his body than to throw anything on the floor of the masjid. And that's what Imam Bukhari, as soon as he noticed and he saw maybe that old man he's not recognized, he went up, sat down right next to him, picked it up, put it in his pocket, without humiliating that old man, without him feeling bad about himself. And that's Imam Bukhari. And Imam Bukhari, when he passed away, Allahu Akbar, he passed away in the year 256. And the Aimah, they mentioned, when Imam Bukhari passed away, a person saw him, saw the Prophet ﷺ in his dream. And the Prophet ﷺ asked this individual in the dream, "Where are you going?" And this person, he says, "Ya Rasulullah ﷺ, I'm going to meet Imam Bukhari." And the Prophet ﷺ says, "Yes, go meet him and give Imam Bukhari my salam as well." The Prophet ﷺ is conveying his salam to Imam Bukhari through these scholars. And when he passed away, in another dream that a scholar saw, he saw that the Prophet ﷺ was sat with his companions in a dream. And it seems like, everybody they're waiting for someone. So he asked them, "Who are you guys waiting for?" And somebody says to him in the dream, "We're waiting for Imam Bukhari." So the Prophet ﷺ in the dream, him and the companions, the Sahaba Kiram, were waiting for somebody. And he says, "We're waiting for Imam Bukhari." When he wakes up, he tries to find out who's Imam Bukhari. By the time he found out who Imam Bukhari was, Imam Bukhari had passed away. So he recollected that the night I saw the dream, according to what people are saying, that he passed away 3 nights ago. When I saw this dream 3 nights ago, that was the night Imam Bukhari passed away, and the Prophet ﷺ was waiting for Imam Bukhari. That's the Imam that we are referring to when we say Imam Bukhari. Allahu Akbar. I'm taking quite a bit of time with Imam Bukhari himself, because he is the most respected, most honored Imam of Hadith. Moving on to the next one, Imam Muslim. Imam Muslim bin Hajjaj Naysaburi, in his book of Sahih Muslim, the second most important, second most authentic book, compilation of Hadith, in his book, the compilation consists of 7,428 Hadith. He wrote many books, over 20 books. Born in the year 204 Hijrah, so roughly 190 years after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, and he left this world in the year 261. And scholars consider him academically, in some aspects of Hadith, to be more authentic than Imam Bukhari as well. Not in all aspects, but in some aspects he surpasses the academia of Imam Bukhari in his understanding of Hadith. That's Imam Muslim. Moving on to the next one. We have Jami' Tirmidhi. And this, like I said, the first two are agreed upon. After that, there's no particular order. Jami' Tirmidhi, Imam Abu Isa Tirmidhi. And Imam Tirmidhi's book is called Jami' Tirmidhi. The reason why I put it in third number is that Hafiz ibn Kathir in Jami' al-Usul, he says that the most beautiful compilation of hadith is Jami' Tirmidhi. The most beautiful one. And it's the most accessible for the public as well. You know, Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, they're quite scholarly texts. And you need quite some deep understanding of hadith to try to understand the format and the layout, the order that Imam Bukhari has given. But Imam Tirmidhi, Jami' Tirmidhi, it's amazing because Imam Tirmidhi's book, the scholars say, you know, if you have this book in your house, consider that you have the Prophet ﷺ talking to you in your house. That's the beauty of this book. Jami' Tirmidhi, it won't cost too much. Imam Tirmidhi's works, Allahu Akbar, the most beautiful compilation. And when you read it, it will seem like the Prophet ﷺ is talking to you directly. That is the beauty of reading hadith. And Imam Tirmidhi, rahimahullah, he has another book which I believe should be in every household. And it's called Shama'il of At-Tirmidhi. Shama'il Tirmidhi. If you make a note of it. So you have the Jami' Tirmidhi, then you have the Shama'il of Imam Tirmidhi as well. Shama'il, which is basically the description of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As Muslims, we should know the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anybody, because he's our Prophet. And if you really want to know someone, you'll have to read upon him. You know, we all say we love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but how much do we know him? Like I give you the example of my daughter, and I really do love her. And if somebody says, prove that you love your daughter, he will ask, okay, what does she look like? What does she wear? What does her hair look like? What does her eyes look like? What do her ears look like? Or is she crawling? Is she walking? What's her favorite foods? These things, I tell you because I love my daughter. To us, generally speaking, we all say we love the Prophet. How much do we know him? Do you know what he looks like? Do we know what his favorite food was? Do you know what his favorite drink was? Do you know what his favorite clothing was? See, so these things, as Muslims, we should know. And one of the best books to know the description of the Prophet is to read this book of Imam Tirmidhi called Shama'il of At-Tirmidhi. Come to next week. If you want, if you just give 2 minutes, I'll quickly finish off. A few more slides and that's it. Sunan Nisa'i, the next book. Imam Ahmed bin Shu'ayb Nisa'i. Total number of hadith in his book are 5,754. And wrote many books. A lot of description, scholars do mention the virtues of Sunan Nisa'i. The next one we have Sunan of Abu Dawud, the Imam Abu Dawud, he said in his book, he's compiled 5,252 sayings, quotations, hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And born in the year 202, passed away in the year 275. And the last one, Sunan Ibn Majah, from the top 6 books of hadith. Sunan Ibn Majah by Imam Hafiz Ibn Majah, the number of hadiths that he has put in his book that he's compiled are 4,341. And he passes away in the year 275. So that's a very, very brief intro into the 6 Imams of hadith. We've talked about the different types of hadith, the importance of understanding hadith, and why as a Muslim we have to know the words, the saying of the Prophet ﷺ. I've given you the warning from the Prophet, peace be upon him, and a brief intro. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those that actively read the words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that try to understand his words, and inshallah that's what this subject holds for you, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم